Here's the because we're talking about mind mastery. Here's the loop that the mind plays. Is if I show up as me, I'll get rejected. So I'll show up as some version of me, which is not real at all. And then if that gets rejected, it won't hurt as bad.
Right.
But the truth is, you got rejected from a relationship, and the person never got to meet you, so you lost. So that the ego mind is constantly trying to protect you from hurt, and eventually all that brings you is more hurt. So everything that we avoid brings us more of whatever it is we avoid. So if we're trying to avoid the pain, we end up with way more pain. Mm-hmm. And that's all there is to it. It just becomes more and more painful. So we have to stop doing that and show up real. Now what's great about that is if you get rejected, you're getting rejected for you, and then you are clear about who you are. That means the person who comes in and accepts you, it's not an act.
Right.
They know who you are. So my wife will tell you that the guy she married is the guy she's with. We've been married more than 10 years.
Right.
That's what it is. So,
Yeah, you don't find out who the person is 4 years later.
No, I was the guy, and this is just who I am. I was the guy who likes to cuddle on the couch. I'm still the guy who likes to cuddle on the couch. I didn't do that so that we could get down and dirty.
Yeah.
I didn't buy flowers in order to impress. I buy flowers because I like flowers.
Yeah.
And I still buy flowers. So it's all those kinds of things. I admit I wrote a lot more cards in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
Like one a day.
Yeah.
Kept hallmark in business. But, I still send cards. I still handwrite love letters to my wife. That was things I was willing to do. Things I wasn't willing to do, I'm still not willing to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't change. It's not going to change. I'm a big flirt. Not interested in anybody else, but I flirt all the time. I said to my wife very early on when we started dating, you have a problem with me flirting? She says, no. I said, you might be saying that because it's the right thing to say, but I'm telling you, I flirt. I flirt with everybody. I flirt with men, flirt with women, I flirt with kids. It's not sexual. It's a play between me and the other person that can be interpreted by a jealous person as sexual or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not. It's play. That flirting will never stop. And she said to me, are you monogamous? I said, totally. I don't have a problem with that. She said, because I'm a flirt too. Great. Neither of us are jealous. Great. We both understand that that's who we are as individuals.
Yeah.
So there's no compromise.
Right.
So I don't walk in a room and see her flirting with somebody and, oh my God, she's going to run off. Or I should go flirt with that person to get back on her because that would be that resentment stuff. It's like, oh, she's having fun.
That's a great example of a conversation to have with your partner.
Absolutely. We were on
Most of us don't have that type of conversation until we've been in a relationship for 10 or more years, probably.
Yeah, and then it's usually in front of a therapist.
Yeah,
Listen, this is going down faster than the Titanic in the North Sea. Please help out. Right?
Right.
So there is a need. I mean, really what we're talking about here is that if you are going to have relationships, and I don't care whether you are single or whether you're in a primary relationship, if you're going to have relationships that work, you have got to show up. Now, again, that's one of those cliche terms. What that means is you got to know who you really are. And I'm not saying this to, saying like, oh, there's a sale on therapy this week, go down to the local Kmart therapist. What I'm saying is you've got to do some serious self-inquiry.
Yeah.
We're not talking about being stubborn. We're talking about knowing what is inherently true about who you are. And then when that shows up, that's consistent. That's all there is to it.
So what should we look for to know who we are? Let's say if we can't see it. We're walking around the world, we're in a trance, and we're just kind of going along in life, and we can't see it. What would I do?
Well, one of the primary motivators for human beings, the two primary motivators for human beings is pleasure and pain. Mm-hmm. One of the primary motivators, and I think is a much stronger motivator psychologically, is pain. If you don't know who you are, one of the greatest ways to find out who you are is to look at your pain. So what I mean by that is whatever it is that brings dissatisfaction and pain into your life, if you look at that, genuinely take a look at that, I believe that pain, that tension we carry is a beckoning of our own heart, of our own soul. Mm-hmm. You are in direct conflict with yourself if you're in that pain, whatever that pain is. So if you want to find out who you are, you must go to the pain. But what we do is we go, that hurts, so it's no good.
Look the other way.
Look the other way. Let's put a smile on. Let's do some positive thinking and everything will be all right. No, you must look at the pain. What is it about this that makes it so hard for me? Right? And we're not talking about getting rid of another person. We're not talking about keeping another person. We're talking about looking at my pain. Not about you, but about me, but I. What's my pain? Because your pain is the gift that will reveal you. Nobody who ever got enlightenment got it just by smiling. It is actually the willingness to look at our own suffering. It's what the Buddha teaches. We get it from looking at our own suffering. See, because everybody, by virtue of being on the planet, if you've got skin, you're in a process of evolution. Psychological, emotional, spiritual evolution. And you're in that evolution. Nobody ever gets to that evolution by sitting still. You've got to keep growing. And every time we're always looking to get feeling better. Mm-hmm. And okay, well, I'll feel better. And then you get there, but that wears off.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because we come back to a loop here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're talking about this whole thing around attraction. What do we want to attract? We talked about manifesting what it is that we want to manifest. Well, I'm going to tell, we're getting a bit deep here, but let's just go with this for a minute. Everything you want, whoever you are, me included, everything you want in order to satisfy an emotional need that was not met when you were a child. It is a substitute for that.
Yeah.
So whether it's a new Porsche, a new Mac computer,
new girlfriend,
new boyfriend, doesn't matter. That's what you're looking for. And if you will look at that pain, you'll find out who you are. And you'll look at what needs to be healed within you. And from that, you'll find your truth. You know, I describe that pain in our lives as being the wheel of which the stone is pushed against to polish. And a diamond is just a rock until it hits that wheel and it gets polished. That's the gift to discover who you are, is to look at your pain.
And in order to get a nice shiny diamond, you have to do a little bit of work.
You have to do quite a bit of work.
Quite a bit of work.
So what happens if we go back into the pain? We're in the pain, we're experiencing the pain, we understand where we're going wrong, we see our behavior. How long should we stay in the pain?
No, you got to see the behavior because you're at first cause. You got to see the behavior. You see, you took yourself to that pain to remind yourself of whatever the wound is back in your own childhood. But then you have to look. Then you track backwards and say, well, what is the behavior that I do to keep taking myself back to this crappy pain?
All right.
Then you get to change the behavior.
I get it. So it's like a loop. You can do it.
Exactly.
Get
It's a
stuck.
loop.
And you can't change it until you know it. And if you're unconscious about it, or like you like to say, asleep,
Exactly.
it's not going to change. So you got to wake up.
Exactly. Good morning.
Good morning.
You got to keep waking up, and as I said, the best way to do that is to start looking at your pain. When you guys know, you came to one of my events where I asked people to go down two paths: the path of regret, right, and the path of your own spectacular life. Well, the path of regret is to look at that pain, because that then will motivate you to do whatever you need to do to get going in your life, and that's what it's all about.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Dov. That was great information. Any last comments, Shane, before we sign off?
I think we should do one more in relationships because there's just so much more. Yeah, there's just so much more we can go, and I know it's like such a broad subject for everybody, and I think you just barely scratched the surface of what we were getting into. So I think that would be great if we could do one more.
Absolutely, we'll do more, and you know, if we get requests from people and they write in and tell us that what they're interested in specifically around that, happy to go there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, make sure you head over to our podcast page. And
www.baronmastery.com to find out about me and what it is that I do, and to...
Is it freemindmasterypodcast.com?
That sounds right. freemindmasterypodcast.com.
And that's where you can see all the archives and leave some comments. Let us know what you think, because it's really, really important, because we want this to be interesting for everybody that listens. Until next time.
Thank you. It's been great being here. It's been great sharing this time with you guys.